Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are gonna study the 12th chapter from Business Ethics, that is Companies Act 2013. So, Companies Act 2013 deals with company types, promotion, formation, and related procedures from Section 1 to Section 122. So, in modern business world, companies play a very important role. Almost every activity in our life is connected with companies such as banks, supermarkets, IT companies, manufacturing industries, and service organizations. Earlier companies in India were governed by the Companies Act 1956, and however, due to globalization, technological development, and increase in corporate activities, a new law became necessary. Therefore, the government introduced the Companies Act 2013. So now let's see the meaning of a company. In simple words, a company means a group of persons coming together to do a business. But legally, a company is much more than just a group of people. So it is an association of persons formed under the Companies Act having separate legal existence. This means the company itself becomes a legal person in the eyes of the law. So, for example, if a company enters into a contract, the contract belongs to the company and not to the individual shareholders. And this act mainly focuses on better corporate governance, transparency in business, protection of investors, and accountability of management. This act contains 29 chapters, 470 sections, and 7 schedules covering incorporation, management, and winding up of companies. Okay, now we have the meaning of a company in a flow chart. Now let's see the life of a company. The life cycle of a company or the life of a company generally passes through different stages. First one is incorporation. The company comes into existence after registration with the registrar of companies. The second stage is business operations. After incorporation, the company starts its business activities like production, trading, or services. And then the third stage is change of members. Shareholders may change due to transfer or sale of shares, but even if owners change, the company continues. And the fourth one is continuity. The company continues its existence irrespective of death or insolvency of members. And the last stage is winding up. Finally, when the company stops operations permanently, it is dissolved through winding up. Now let's see the definition of a company. So according to the Companies Act 2013, a company means a company incorporated under this act or any previous company law. And this definition mainly emphasizes registration because only registered organizations get company status. Now let's see the characteristics of a company. The first one is separate legal entity. A company is considered an artificial person created by law. That means company can own property, it can sue others, and others can sue the company. For example, if a company takes a loan and fails to repay, creditors sue the company and not shareholders personally. This principle was established in the famous case Solomon versus Solomon and Company Limited. The second one is limited liability. One of the biggest advantages of a company form is limited liability. Members are liable only to the extent of the unpaid value of shares. For example, if a person owns shares worth rupees 10,000 and has already paid rupees 8,000, the liability is only the difference, that is 10,000 minus 8,000, that is 2,000. So personal property of shareholders cannot be used to pay company debts, and this encourages investment. The third characteristic is perpetual succession. That means continuous existence. Members may die, retire, or transfer shares, but the company continues until legally wound up. Hence, it is said, members may come and go, but the company goes on forever. The fourth characteristic is separate property. Company property belongs only to the company, and shareholders are not owners of company assets directly. Example, even if a person owns majority shares, they cannot use company property as their personal property. And the fifth characteristic is common seal. Earlier, common seal acted as the official signature of the company. Important documents like agreements were validated using the common seal. After the Companies Amendment Act 2015, use of common seal became optional. Now, documents may be signed by directors or company secretary. The sixth characteristic is transferability of shares. Shares can easily be transferred from one person to another, and this provides liquidity to investors. However, public company shares are freely transferable, and private companies restrict transfer through articles of association. So, this is the flow chart explaining the characteristics of a company. So, first one is separate legal entity, limited liability, perpetual succession, separate property, common seal, and transferability of shares. So, our next topic is lifting of corporate veil. Normally, company and members are treated separately, but sometimes people misuse company structure for illegal purposes. In such situations, courts ignore company identity and identify real persons behind it. This is called lifting the corporate veil. So now let's see the situations where corporate veil is lifted. First one is protection of revenue. If company is formed to avoid tax payment, court investigates real owners. Second one is enemy character. So during war situations, courts check nationality of persons controlling the company. Third one is prevention of fraud. If company is created to cheat people or avoid obligations, the veil is lifted. Next one is protection of public policies. Courts prevent activities which are harmful to society. Next one is sham or clock company. If company exists only on paper for illegal activities, then the corporate veil will be lifted up. Next one is company acting as an agent. So if company acts only on behalf of shareholders, it will be lifted up. Next one is avoidance of welfare laws. If the company avoids labor or employee welfare laws, the corporate veil will be lifted up. And next one is contempt of court. If the court identifies responsible individuals when orders are violated, the corporate veil will be lifted up. Now let's see the kinds of companies. So businesses can operate in different company forms depending upon its objectives and liability. The Companies Act provides several classifications. Now let's see the formation of a company under section 3. A company can be formed for any lawful purposes, and the minimum members required for a public company is 7 persons, private company is 2 persons, and 1 person company, as its name suggests, 1 person. These persons subscribe to memorandum of association. Now let's see what is a 1 person company. So OPC or 1 person company concept was introduced to support small entrepreneurs. Earlier, single person business had to operate as sole proprietorship, and now 1 person can form a company with limited liability. Now let's see the important features. So as we said, only 1 member, nominee must be appointed, and nominee becomes member in case of death or incapability. And this ensures continuity of business. So the next one is companies formed under section 3 and subsection 2, and that is company limited by shares, limited by guarantee, or an unlimited company. So based on the liability, the companies are classified into three. First one is company limited by shares, that is, the liability is limited to unpaid share amount, and that is the most common type. The second one is company limited by guarantee. Members guarantee to contribute certain amount during winding up, and usually it is used for non-profit organizations. And the third one is unlimited company, that is, members have unlimited liability, and this is rarely used. We also have certain other companies like statutory companies, registered companies, existing companies, associations not for profit, government companies, foreign companies, holding and subsidiary companies. Now let's see what is a private company. So a private company is a company suitable for small and family businesses, and its main features are restriction on transfer of shares, and the maximum number of members can only be 200, and it cannot invite public to invest. Now let's see the advantages of a private company. So we will have better control and less legal formalities compared to public companies. Okay, now let's see what is a public company. So a public company are suitable for large businesses, and let's see the features. It can raise money from public, and the minimum members should be 7, and there is no limit for maximum members. Also the shares can be freely transferable. Because public money is involved, government imposes strict compliance and disclosure requirements. Now let's see the conversion of private company into public company. So it can be converted by altering the articles of association, by passing special resolution, and by removing the restrictions. So after conversion, compliance requirements increase and company loses certain exemptions. So now let's see the term public offer. So public offer means a company raises capital by issuing shares to the general public through a stock exchange. It's a way for companies to raise funds from a large number of investors. And it can be done through public offer through prospectus, that is, a company issues a prospectus. A prospectus means a detailed document outlining the company's financials, business plans, and risk to invite the public to subscribe to its shares. The second method is through private placement, that is, a company issues shares to select a group of investors like institutional investors or high net worth individuals without a public prospectus. The next one is right issue and bonus issue. Right issue means a company offers existing shareholders the right to buy additional shares at a discounted price, usually to raise more capital. And the last one is bonus issue, that is, a company issues free shares to existing shareholders, usually by capitalizing its reserves. So with this, we are concluding today's class. We'll be coming up the next video. Thank you. Till then, keep learning and keep growing.